Jesus said, "Man cannot live on bread alone, but from every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." You're listening to Daily Truth.
I am perfectly aware that family integrated worship is a challenge. I thank God for COVID, if for no other reason, that it made a lot of churches transition to family integrated worship. That the children would be included in worship and not shipped off to a separate room for Christian childcare, which is not church, by the way. The Bible has a clear criteria for what defines church. The church is the gathering of all the saints on the Lord's day for the ordinary means of grace and their right administering. That is publicly preaching the word, publicly praying the word, publicly singing the word in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, not only addressing God in our worship through song, but addressing one another, as Ephesians says, addressing one another with psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, and the right not only singing of the word, but seeing, S-E-E-I-N-G, of the word in the only two images that the Lord has prescribed for us, that being the sacraments of baptism and the Lord's Supper. Where this occurs, we have church. If the children are not present when this occurs, then the children are not going to church. And if we send the children to Christian childcare, but not church, from the time that they're born to the time that they graduate high school, we should not pretend to be shocked when our children don't go to church when they're in college and after. You have discipled them not to go to church from the day they were born. They are simply following your discipleship. I can't believe my kids don't go to church. You taught them not to go to church their whole lives. You taught them that church is not for them. It's for someone else. And primarily, who's it for? Parents. Which is why there is a likelihood, although statistically this is happening less and less, but there is a likelihood that your grown children will not go to church because you taught them not to, but when they eventually have children of their own, maybe they'll come back. Because you've discipled them. Who is church for? People with kids. Is it for the kids themselves? No, just people with kids. People with kids.
Big news. Really big news. Our next Right Response Conference is in the works. We've got a number of things already lined up and organized. This is what we got so far. The whole conference, 3 days long, on postmillennialism and theonomy. And the speakers, Dr. James White, Dr. Joseph Boot, Gary DeMar, and of course yours truly, Pastor Joel Webbon. We've got a great lineup. We've got great topics. If you want to find out dates and location and registration and anything else, go and visit our website, rightresponseconference.com. rightresponseconference.com.